Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the Model Railway News for a brand new year, January 2022. I am coming at you with all of the latest news and developments from our fantastic hobby. On Monday, the fireworks were even brighter than on New Year's Eve, following Hornby's 2022 range launch. The company is now facing a veritable PR disaster as a result of their new and absurd pricings and their repeated pointless product duplication, which aggressively competes with another manufacturer, and this time they've potentially landed themselves in serious legal trouble as a result of possible copyright infringement. Hornby are now facing a barrage of tweets, comments and messages from angry and frustrated customers, and I honestly cannot blame them. My favourites are on Twitter, but obviously I cannot show you those because they are far too unreasonable to show here on YouTube. It's easy to start feeling really sorry for Hornby over this because nobody likes seeing their company shredded to pieces like this. But myself and so many other people have been on at Hornby for the last couple of years at least for their pricing, for their treatment of other businesses within this hobby, not to mention the poor quality of a lot of their products, and they just have not listened. And unfortunately, this is the result. But what really irks me is that Hornby seem to be trying to silence people and stopping them from having their say. These YouTube comments that you can see right now have been removed from their 2022 range launch video. I mean, what is wrong with this one from John Kelly? It's not rude, it's not abusive, it's literally just someone trying to express their thoughts. Have you ever heard of the Streisand effect, Hornby? You're about to. Because you did that, now tens of thousands of people will see these comments on this video, and I would strongly advise against ever trying to silence your customers again. If you feel that they're wrong and if you feel that you've been done an injustice, then explain it. Make a statement rather than just trying to hide stuff. Heaven knows a statement would be great to help explain all of the stuff that's gone down over this year. But it's 2022, don't think for one moment that you can just sweep things under the carpet and hide them, because I, for one, am here to assure you that you cannot. Now, my advice is this. First of all, if you feel strongly about this and you want to act, please do, but obviously no personal attacks. Personal attacks, abuse is not okay. I know people do feel strongly, but that is counterproductive and it's wrong and I don't endorse it. If you do feel strongly about this and you want to act and make a difference, my advice is to vote with your wallets. Just don't buy the stuff. If enough people do this, it will make a difference. If you're not willing to vote with your wallets and not buy the products, then my advice would be to purchase them from a retailer. Not only do you save money doing this, but retailers, in my opinion, are a really important part of this hobby and they do deserve your support. What I do not recommend doing is going to hornby.com and purchasing your locos and models from there. For many reasons. First of all, you pay RRP on hornby.com, it's far more expensive. Secondly, Hornby get all of the money that way. Not only do they get the money that the retailers would earn if you bought from a retailer, but they also get the money that they add to that in order to sell at RRP. Thirdly, I bought from Hornby.com at the end of last year. I purchased my Hush Hush from them and it's not an experience I would care to repeat. The loco was slung into a box without any proper packaging and the quality of the loco was horrible and I sent it back for a full refund.
Mission failure.
Hornby can be a really good manufacturer though, and there are aspects of their models, particularly the mechanisms, that I really do like, and the 2022 range was certainly very interesting with a lot of new models announced that I think will be really worth a look. If you want to see the live stream where I talked about all of Hornby's, well, most of Hornby's new announcements, you can see it up there. As promised though, I am going to show you some of the Railroad and Railroad Plus locos that have been announced because a lot of them actually look really decent, and compared to some of the new top of the range stuff, the prices seem very reasonable too. So the first one is this, the Coca-Cola Class 121. I'm not 100% convinced that there are thousands and thousands of people desperate for Coca-Cola branded model railway items, but if those people are out there, they certainly have a lot to choose from. It is cool though, isn't it? It's only £96.99, so not a bad price for a locomotive. You've also got the Hornby Railroad Plus Class 57, the plus in Railroad Plus indicating that while this is still a Hornby Railroad loco, so basic in its physical detail, the decoration is more similar to Hornby's top of the range line. And this looks really, really good. This is the Royal Diamond one, and again, this is going to cost £96.99. You've got a Class 47, I'm going to show you the Network Southeast one, but there are plenty of others to look at. Again, same price, £96.99. You've got this, a really, really grand looking Class 40, a very, very large locomotive, this one, also very basic, don't get me wrong, you're not buying a super detailed locomotive if you go for the Hornby Railroad Class 40, but this is reflected in the price, I think, as it is only £96.99 RRP. And bear in mind, if you do as I suggest and purchase from a retailer, you can easily score 10 or 15% off from that. So we're talking not much more than £80 approximately. You've got an incredible, a really quite incredible looking Class 31 here. This is in the BR Intercity Swallow livery, which I think looks very, very fetching on the Class 31. Again, same price of £96.99 RRP. Seems alright for such a great looking loco. Then there is the Great Western Class 57. Again, the decoration there looks second to none. It's the same price. And then my favourite, although it is more expensive, is this. It is the Class 110. It's a 2-car pack, and this is a little bit less reasonable, I would say, at £145.49. But going on price alone, it's a much more attractive proposition than some of the higher range 2-car sets. As for Hornby's Engine Shed blog for this month, they've shared another major update on their new and upcoming Class 9F. Quite a lot of interesting new information here if you'd like to take a look. So first of all, we've got several shots of a much more developed sample than we've seen before. I think the last sample we saw, I could be wrong, but I think the last one was just a 3D printed sample, and clearly this is not that. This looks like a proper shot from the tooling, and it also appears to be complete with quite a lot of separately fitted parts, maybe not necessarily all, but it certainly looks fairly complete. But most importantly was this phrase from the blog, which says Hornby Class 9F models will incorporate die-cast bodies and flickering firebox feature, which is less important than the die-cast bodies. So this loco is expensive. I don't want to utter the price, but here it is. It's a lot of money. A die-cast body certainly lessens the burn somewhat, doesn't it? So hopefully these locos will be quality, and then hopefully when I get one to review it, I will be able to say that, well, it's very expensive, it is at least worth the money, and you do get what you pay for. I really do cross my fingers for that. Next up, a couple of updates from Oxford Rail on some of their eagerly anticipated rolling stock. There's a whole load of their wagons which are supposedly still due this month in January. The first of these is the pilchard wagons. These are large wagons. Look, they're bogeyed wagons, so they've got 4 axles, 8 wheels on them. Those alone are very expensive, and yet from the retailers, these wagons cost £13 each. £13 each, and Oxford are owned by Hornby, so presumably they are subject to the same market pressures that Hornby are, and yet they're still able to pull off a pilchard for £13. And it doesn't end there. We've got the GR 10-ton vans, several different versions of these on offer, covering the Great Eastern ones, the L&ER BR ones, and you've got the banana vans too, which I think look really wonderful in the bauxite livery. And again, these vans are £13 each. Brand new, never been seen before. What a good deal that is. So I was showing Hattons there, but obviously other retailers are available. If you're interested, I'll pop an affiliate link down in the description for you. Next up, I'm going to talk about Accurascale, and there are a couple of really exciting developments from Accurascale. The first one is that they have showed decorated samples of some of their lineup of 00 gauge Manor class. They may have posted a list of issues and things to be corrected, but nothing takes away from how absolutely stunning these locos look. Look at some of these photos. What stands out to me really is the shine on that die-cast boiler. These are not expensive locos, again, compared to Hornby's 22 range, and yet they do have die-cast boilers, so that means metal boilers, and the finish looks wonderful. Not only that, but the resolution in the bodywork looks stunning as well. Everything looks so fine, doesn't it? All of the separately fitted parts look perfectly scaled. Nothing about them looks chunky. Really, really impressive. The front bogie axles I find a little bit distracting, but hopefully they will be fixed for the final release. More samples are promised soon. Obviously we've got a very small number of them on display, but apparently the rest, including some of the attractive black liveries, will be following pretty soon. However, that's not all for Accurascale because, well, you might not be surprised to hear that they've made yet another new product range announcement. And I say it's a range because it's the Siphon G van, but it's not just a van. Their tooling suite actually allows them to produce up to 15 different versions of the Siphon G van, which is quite impressive. Now these are going to be fairly expensive at £54.95 from the retailers. If you're interested in placing a pre-order, I'll pop an affiliate link down in the description for you. And Accurascale's new tooling is going to cover 15 different versions, as I say, which are initially going to span between 1930 and 1980s. So a very, very broad spectrum of modelling possibilities there. Quite a bit broader than I was expecting. Quite surprised to hear that these things could still be used on an early 1980s layout. They're also producing a range of different liveries. They all look great, don't they? But my favourite, I think, is the ambulance coach. I just really would love to put that with my Bachmann ambulance train set, which I think would be a bit too early because that was World War I, I'm pretty sure, and if this is a 1930 at the very earliest Siphon van, then yeah, not quite perfect, but visually it would look great, wouldn't it? They've also showed their extensive use of metal detailing, which will obviously maximise the finesse of every part of the model. Another great promise from Accurascale. Fingers crossed they can pull it off, and obviously fingers crossed it's a great product when it finally hits the shops. Next up, there's some big news from Rails of Sheffield. They have released two brand new Bachmann steam locomotives. They came into stock just before Christmas, and as of now they are still currently available. They are the LNWR Precedent in a number of different liveries, and also the Caledonian 81206 tender engine, which is also available in a number of liveries, including this very, very attractive Caledonian Royal Blue, which I love a lot. Now these locos are very, very expensive. They're priced at £220 and £199.95 respectively. So very, very expensive indeed. Suddenly they don't look quite as unreasonable as they did, having seen Hornby's latest prices. However, if you'd like to see these locos reviewed by me, do comment down below. They are very expensive. I haven't quite made up my mind yet, but if you do have a preference, please do let me know and I will use that to help me make my decision. Finally then, let's finish off this episode with a poll result. So during 2021, I made videos on each of the big four, so that's the LMS, the LNER, the Great Western, the GWR, and the SR, the Southern Railway, and I showed each of their wonderful locomotives as I did so. December marks the end of that series when I uploaded the final episode, the LMS episode, showing all of the LMS locomotives. And so to finish off the series, I posted a poll to ask you guys which of the big four had the finest locomotives. And here is the result. Now this is fascinating, isn't it? The Southern Railway unfortunately lost with just 7% of the votes. A bit disappointed in that. I do love the Southern Railway, but the people have spoken. Followed by the LMS, which is very surprising. Again, I would have expected those locos to be very popular in how grand they look. But no, Great Western was in second place with 24% of the votes. And then in top place, blowing the rest of the big four out of the water, clean out of the water, was the LNER with 54% of the votes. That's more than half. So LNER is by far the favourite, at least among my audience. I don't think I could have predicted that. I would have expected the four to be much closer in the votes, and actually they weren't. So thank you so much for watching, folks. I do hope you enjoyed the news today. Again, if there's anything I've missed that you think deserves a mention, do comment down below and I will think about it for next month. There is a lot going on in this hobby at the moment and it's impossible to cover all of it, but I'm doing my best. Well, have a great year. I will see you Monday for another video because videos are starting again proper on this channel and I cannot wait to get started again. So I'll see you soon for that. Thank you for joining me for now and I'll see you on the next one. All right, cheers folks.